The story takes place one day in the future. Between the real world and the different world, suddenly a crack appeared. Monsters from another world are pouring into the earth. People call them destroyers. They're born with an instinct to destroy. Where they pass through, cities turn to ruins. People's homes are destroyed. There are even some people who have 6 withdrawal corrosion. He also turned into a monster with a strange appearance. To face this unexpected disaster, humans choose to unite to fight the enemy. However, the army was defeated 7 times in a row. The survivors could only flee everywhere. But some people don't want to give up. Commander Mila was one of them. She leads an all-female army. Go deep into the battlefield and fight. Fierce with heterosexual monsters. But 15 years later, that peculiar crack still exists. The war between humans and monsters. It never stopped either. During this time, Mila and her husband started a family. They had a child named Willow. When Mila the battlefield, I will tell my daughter stories. On the battlefield, you tell it vividly. Every time it makes Willow sound drunk. Brave human heroes who are not afraid, and the military's hard victories. On the battlefield, it's the hope and the motivation for the survivors. Keep living. It encourages the soldiers to keep fighting. It was Willow's birthday. Mila was busy trying to get back from the front line. Self-hand test gives daughter the beautiful pigtails. The couple also prepared gifts. Mila gives a warm wool hat. Sometimes I give a cute stuffed dog. But unfortunately born in the end times. Blue has never seen other animals. So she asked me curiously, "What is this? What is a dog?" Maybe one day, we'll find you a real one. But even if the whole family of BA is drowning, in the warm air, outside suddenly, echoed the anxious exhortation of soldiers. Turns out there's a lot of monsters, is moving quickly towards the barracks. And according to the latest intelligence, the last line of humanity is 7. People can't get attached for one more moment. What peace? Could only hastily decide to abandon this barracks. At my urging, Willow quickly packed up the necessary items. Then followed the evacuation team to the truck. Mila chose to go to the battlefield again. Lead the remaining 15 soldiers. To make time for ordinary people. The family of 3 had to separate. Willow knows this is my mission. But it's still unacceptable in my heart. Even though SAO is in this cruel apocalypse, every break could be the last. The shadow of war is approaching. The air in the car is stuffy and heavy. To dispel the dark clouds, someone suddenly mentioned it. Feats of the legendary leader Kodiak. He was the first commander of the Human Alliance. He was also the first, discovering the weakness of the destroyer. We just need to cut off their heads and we can end it. Willow completely their lives. But the transformed people are hard to deal with. Much more, they have to destroy the brainstem to stop working. And then more and more people got involved in the topic. The heavy air in the car gradually loosens. Some people even started arguing. See how many Kodiaks have killed in a lifetime. The object, however, right now, a thick gun guy suddenly echoed by the ear. People rush down to the truck. The result is a horrible sight. In the chaos of dragging Willow under the truck. But I didn't expect a monster to find them. Just as Willow was desperately preparing to die, a pair of military boots suddenly appeared before his eyes. Then the monster's head fell to the ground. It turned out that Mila had brought him in time. The moment I saw my mother, Willow immediately felt safe. The boy quickly crawled out of the car. I can't believe I just stood up. I saw a monster still wiggling. This is the first time Willow directly faced the destroyer. And yet to react, she was pulled off the highway by her parents. Running towards the forest. Because this is just the vanguard of monsters. The truck has been seriously damaged. Staying here is no different than waiting to die. I don't know how long it's been running. Everyone finally stops in a safe place. Under the fire in the dark at dawn in the distance. I was surprised to find it on Mila's face. Blood stains unknown. He looked nervously at his wife. Fortunately, after Mila's identification, it's just normal human blood. But in a panic. You can't see the look on your face. Still very nervous. Soldiers are reporting now. They're only 4 kilometers from the nearest barracks. Hear that? Mila told her husband to lead the others out first. And I've got the rest of the soldiers behind me. Look at the girl in tears. Mila could not help but soften her heart to listen to her mother say this. I'll get through this. You can be afraid. But I can't let it stop me. Even though it's hard in my heart. The girl's tears also hurt her heart. But Mila, I was ready to say goodbye to Willow. Because I'm a commander. You are responsible for all who live. But the word just ended. Behind him came the monster's growl. The army of destroyers is near. Mila couldn't care less about anything else. Hurry up and take your daughter away. I hold the weapon in my hand. Without any fear turned to prepare for battle. However, Mila, don't know that. He did not retreat with the army. But take Willow to the coast. These 6 areas have gradually 7 players. A place where people can be born. There is not much left in life. It became clear that Mila's journey maybe keep a lot less healthy. So I decided to go to the beach and try my luck. Turns out before the end of the world comes down, I used to have a fishing boat out to sea. Fishing. Fortunately, this boat is intact. It's time to decide immediately. Drive this small boat. Take your daughter to a remote island. Because monsters haven't been able to swim yet. Maybe they can spend the rest of their lives on the island. But as soon as your father is about to leave, a faint cry for help suddenly moved to the Willow wants to go ashore to save people. But look at the fishing boat. There seems to be enough room for 2. However, she was stopped by strict time. You know the cruelties of the end. In this environment, sometimes people are more terrifying than monsters. It's not easy for them to worry about themselves. A soft-hearted ink will usually die the fastest. I can't believe the word just ended. A strange man from the forest Laura. When I saw him coming closer, he lied, he was just looking for food. Trying to hide his intention to get on an escape boat. I didn't expect the man to pull the gun. 6 forced to take me away. For the safety of my daughter. You can only panic compromise. I can't believe this time. The man suddenly turned his guard. It shows a fresh wound on the back. When I saw that, I immediately thought that was the next second. I deliberately sighed helplessly. Said that the gasoline on the boat had long run out. I need to find some scrap cars to siphon off some gas. You can start from the fuel tank. Aim to retain the enemy. The man who heard that was naturally on his guard. Looking for a car at the same time? But the gun in my hand didn't come down. Fortunately, there is always some fighting power. When the enemy looks around nervously, he quickly pulled the dagger out of his pocket. But right now, Willow was meekly listening to father waiting on the spot. But the monster's roar. Sometimes it sounds in your ears. It's always tugging her nervous system. Fortunately, right now, I finally ran out of the woods. But it wasn't time for Willow to ask what had happened. In a panic, take off the rope that fixed the hull. Urge her to pull out and push the boat into the water. Just like that, the fishing boat is moving and it's rippling quickly towards the distant uninhabited island. The blue ocean pounded against the rocks. Lush greenery covers the coast. The picturesque scenery makes the mood. Willow slowly relaxed. But unfortunately, the resources here are extremely scarce. So even though the end of the world is coming, no one wants to set up camp here. He could only build some living facilities on his own. Basically, and put a line of mines on the coast. It's about fighting monsters that can get to the island. It's also to prevent people from getting in. Time passed quietly in peace and in security. Blinking has been a year. The fire on the other side never stopped. Willow is always worried about his mother. Pray that you are still alive. But in addition to the daily maintenance of the traps, Cho-Wilo's training has never stopped. I know that one day I will leave my daughter. Just so that she's strong enough to survive. We can survive in this chaotic world. During day-to-day training, Willow has mastered how to use weapons. Fighting skills are also becoming more and more sophisticated, has clearly become an all-powerful warrior. That night Willow wrapped up in his father and told him Cody's story. He was the first to discover the rift. And with just an axe killed me. The first destroyer to land on Earth. But this time after hearing the story, Willow had a different feeling. Because she suddenly found out. My father is familiar with the details of the story. He's not father. Willow T sounds like a strong, powerful father. When not answering directly, just tell, Willow must not forget the feat of the Kodiak. And never lose hope. Because I believe that one day, the world will be the same again. Once again full of life. These words are like seeds that take root in the heart. Willow. It gave her the courage to live again. After that night, my father's life has not changed. Every morning they go to the beach. Happy Long responsible for clean spring water. Careful maintenance of mines buried under the sand. Waiting for work in hand to complete too. Your father will sit on the rock. Watch the destroyer on the opposite shore. Fortunately, the group. This monster has not dared to enter the water yet. So the island is pretty safe now. After confirming the coast was temporarily unthreatened. Take Willow into the woods. Start high-intensity training sessions. The days go by. As soon as Willow, I thought I would be with you. Spend the rest of your life on this island. The accident suddenly happened. Early that morning. Long fun as usual to the beach for spring water. I didn't expect to see a shadow. Virtual on the beach. Girl Theo reflexively screamed at the person's shadow. The enemy immediately changes direction. Go to the source of the sound. But now Willow's expression became alarmed. Because she suddenly remembered the mines you'd laid. So she rushed to the beach. Sign out loud for that person to stop. Fortunately, there is nothing dangerous. That person did not activate the mine. Willow just found out. It's a girl about my age. The enemy is afraid of shaking his whole body. The long-term love immediately arises. Take her to her secret base. It's a secret cave. But even you don't know. I just lit a candle. She noticed it on her forehead. The girl has a bleeding wound. Maybe he was hit on the head on the boat. You haven't noticed much for a long time. Even if it's the destroyer's scratch. It's probably no big deal. Because so far, monsters only turn men into their own kind. Then through chat. Willow knew a girl named Yosi. I was going along the coast to visit my grandmother. But did not expect. Monsters have evolved the ability to swim. Suddenly came out of the water and crashed into her boat. Finally, Rosie. You have to do your best to swim to this island. After knowing, the monster's behavior has changed. Willow's heart was immediately heavy. So she told Yosi to stay in the cave first. I want to go home and negotiate with my father. I can't believe I just ran into the woods. A familiar figure suddenly came from behind. Mila's mother again. You two hugged each other. I couldn't hold back tears because I was so excited. But not out of the joy of reunion. Mila was in a hurry to let go. I urged Willow to leave the island. Watch her turn away. Willow rushed to chase. He said to tell me first. But the word just ended. Mila shouted, "Are you ready?" Not yet, maybe. Fortunately, this was just a dream. But that real feeling still scares Willow. So she didn't care. Yosi was still sleeping. Run like crazy home. I thought a monster had invaded. Immediately reflexively raise your gun and aim it at the door. Willow is safe. Your hanging heart has just been put down. But Willow's under the cover reflex. He lied that he had fallen asleep in the forest. I didn't mention that I saved Josie. When I heard that, I didn't ask deeply. But there's bad news. There's only a few boxes left in the inventory. The harvest is not very good in the garden. Reluctant enough to keep my two fathers. So to the night. Willow crept over to the table as he slept. Put the rest of the boxes in 3 boxes. Yosi is in the cave. I think of the father who's been struggling these days. She finally left a box. And then in the evening, she snuck out of the house. Yoshi's condition has improved. I can't help but smile happily. Under the dim light. 2 girls of the same age have countless topics to talk about. Willow. He even shared his favorite book. Right now, she's in the joy of having friends. Completely unaware, Yosi would occasionally touch the wound on her forehead. After talking for a while, it's time for Willow's training. Before leaving, she learns according to her father's appearance. Tell Yosi the hero of the Kodiak. Use that to encourage the enemy. Not giving up hope. Because in this world, there are still countless brave warriors like Cody. Are fighting. So one day, humans will succeed in closing that gap. However, that day, while helping Willow train his combat skills. When you suddenly faint without warning. Turns out, I soon discovered that the food in the house was dwindling. But didn't say RA. Just quietly cut back on your portions. I want to save some food for my daughter. But the prolonged hunger finally knocked it down. Wait until you wake up from the coma. He looked at Willow with a worried face. But in my heart it's clear. Your life may have entered a counting phase. Willow looked at his father's weakness. Filled with regret and self-blame. She wants to get off the island. Join the battlefield. To contribute to this world. But was firmly rejected by the time. I've been on the battlefield for 5 years. Nature knows the terror of the destroyer. If you can, you want to protect Willow for the rest of your life. But in the end, it's just wishful thinking. Think about it when you try to stand up. 6 in wooden crates under the bed are a sword. Sharp. That's the weapon you used to fight with. Mila. Now it's time for Willow to take care of it. Feel the weight in your hands. It's like growing up overnight. She understands that this is an inheritance. It's also a responsibility. Early morning the next day, Willow held the sword of excitement. Run to the cave. Yoshi wants to show off his new weapon. But there's a shadow in the cave. The ground is a mess right now. Brought before was also torn apart. Willow heartbreak pick up stuffed dog. Thinking about how to fix it. Suddenly there was a small noise in the back. The wary girl turned around. Be careful in the direction of the sound. I saw Yosi. He's squatting in another corner of the cave. Whatever Jilla calls it, there's no reaction, Rosie. No one expected Rosie to turn into a monster. Your face is cruel. Fear immediately enveloped the Jilla heart. She did her best to get out of control. Yosi, but the enemy's strength is too great. No matter how she's going to die, it's useless. Fortunately, at the crucial moment, the time came. But bullets hit the monster. It only temporarily slows down the speed of its action. It does not cause any actual damage. The monster rushed towards me without saying 2 words. Draw raw sword through the enemy's head. We are now fortunate to have solved the immediate danger. But just as you're about to take your daughter away, Willow suddenly wept in pain. He thought he had hurt Joseph. As soon as I saw it, I hurried to comfort her. And then he said, "I got worse news than you." The monster was infected before it died, sending signals to my body. The location of the island is now known. They must quickly evacuate to find a new place. Father, I'm afraid. Let the fear push you forward. There was a strange movement at the beach. The monster that received the signal is coming to the island. To my father, dare not delay. Turn the runner to the other side of the island. The coast there has their fishing boat parked. But I just ran halfway. When the inconvenient leg could not support. The fishermen can only help you sit down and rest. Fortunately, they were not far from the shore. Just another 5 minutes to get there. Willow was still in self-blame. While gently rubbing her head, she asked if she still wanted to hear the story. I can't believe this time, Willow. I said I didn't want to hear about Dia's exploits anymore. I want you to tell the story of your mother and father. I was a little surprised to hear that, but still holding Willow in my arms. About the process of getting to know each other and Mila. At that time, mankind went to war with the destroyer. The whole city has been reduced to rubble. But they still feel very happy. Even though the world is covered in darkness. But in the eyes of Mila's smile. Enough to match the sun. They deserve to be given any kind words. Their love is unbreakable. So even now Mila has no news. But still believe that she's alive. One day they will be reunited. Willow listened quietly to father. Unconsciously let your guard down. But very quickly, the monster's roar broke the silence. My father hurriedly stood up, running like crazy towards the shore. But did not expect. There's a deep hole on the way back and forth. It's hard to get through. Even though there's a tree overhead. But that narrow log, even a person passing by is difficult. Especially when the legs are not convenient. Hearing the roar getting closer and closer, I told Willow to go first. Fortunately, her balance is very good. It doesn't take any energy. It was easy to get to the opposite shore. I can't believe this time. A mutant monster caught up again. Directly when falling to the ground. Aggressive bite on your neck. Blue then hurried to the opposite shore. Draw the sword and cut off the monster's head. But did not expect that. The enemy is beheaded. The residual nerve. You can control your body to continue to act. Willow could only hurriedly defend himself with his sword. But in the end, the monster cornered the bridge. Lucky that at 1,000 pounds hanging hair. From behind completely destroyed the monster. He was not injured for a long time. Your father immediately sped up. Try your best to run towards the fishing boat. Just ran into the coastal pine forest. When I couldn't stand it, I fell to the ground. But right now, there's another monster chasing you. I see the enemy is aggressive. Willow has once again overcome his fear. Draw your sword, show your fighting posture. For my safety. She absolutely can't back down. Look at the girl who's completely molested. At last with a proud smile. I believe that in the future even without me. We can survive in this chaotic world. A few minutes later, your father finally stumbled to the shore. At one time hand press Willow's shoulder. The voice in a hurry, but carries with it unquestioned consistency. Tell her to cut the rope that fixed the boat. Then leave the island and go north. About 10 kilometers away, there's an island with no one else. You can hide there temporarily. But Willow, realize the abnormality in your voice. A strong sense of insecurity immediately rises from the bottom of my heart. She suddenly realized her father. They don't seem to leave with me. Let's face Willow's question. When he just pulled Ra's collar to reveal his bloody shoulders. You've been infected by a mutant monster. It will soon turn into a monster. Tears immediately blurred Willow's vision. She won't say anything. Leave me to run away alone. But gently wiping away her tears. Then gently comfort this world even though it's broken. But just survive. One day we will win. The monster's roar was just around the corner. I immediately pushed Willow. Strictly urging her to leave. Reluctant Willow. I can only turn people towards the boat. Use the sword in your hand. Cut the rope that ties the boat. But the scene. The boat slid as expected and did not appear. The long-term damaged roller has rusted. Stuck on the beach. No matter how much she's pushing. The boat didn't move. But now the body is starting to mutate. The old man clearly couldn't stand it. I could only use my last bit of strength to look at Willow. I want to remember her forever. That Willow. I realized I had no hope of escape. so she decided to draw her sword. Prepare to fight with the monsters. I can't believe this time. The sea suddenly echoed the roar of the engine. Mila's mother is leading the army. Willow immediately raised his hope. So she looked at me. Then learn to follow your mother's example. Draw a line on the ground with a sword. It's a symbol of determination to fight a death battle. Here the movie ends. Mila's latest work. Javovic is back with the Monster series. This movie is based on the Doomsday survival platform. Combination of elements. Invasion of malformations and survival on deserted islands. There's just an oppressive sense of the subject of the end of the world. There's a sense of tension in the enclosed space. It's definitely an apocalyptic movie. Most worth seeing in recent times. If you are interested, you can watch the original movie. If you like this video, don't be afraid to like it. Comments and registration. More exciting movies. We'll see you next time.